Okay, what is up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Still getting over the cold. I've had a really nasty cough, so I just got back from the Minute Clinic to man, I just realized the Vaseline on my nose is like reflecting. Whatever the case is, I just got back from the Minute Clinic and just bought a bunch more new medication. Just annoying cough here. But anyways, just gonna say from the beginning, this is a live stream. So if you're watching this and it's not live, then this was a live stream that was done and it wasn't just a straight up video. So forgive me to people watching this in the future when it's not a live stream because you might hear me interacting with people. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but just something disturbing happened. This is something that's been really disturbing that I've dealt with for a few years now. Of course, like I tell everybody in my tarot card streams, I am not the strongest intuitive, and I am a clairsentient, which is very uncontrollable predictions and everything. Very uncontrollable. Like I could just think of something random and it comes true. And it seems like, unfortunately for me, death is a big thing that warns me and happens. I have about 5 different stories over the past 3 or 4 years that has happened that have all related around death that like I just knew. And two, like I knew how somebody died. For one, I like immediately knew how somebody died. And I just knew about another death that happened a few weeks ago. And I don't know, I just felt like, since I haven't been able to do tarot cards, I decided to do a video talking about the kind of predicting and psychic and intuitive topic. So we're going to talk about that today, whether people come in or not, they do or not. But I'm just going to get to it. So quick sip of water because this is going to be a lot of talking. So the whole intuitive stuff that started many years ago when I was very, very young. One of my first experiences was a dream where I believe a spirit guardian, which is a child, had warned me I was about to roll off my bed, and I rolled off my bed. But anyway, I think these are my spirit guardians that put these little voices in my head that tell me when things are about to happen. One of the first death experiences I had where I basically predicted death was about to happen was many years ago when I was in high school. I was a cashier at a local hardware shop. And me and an employee, another fellow cashier, were just randomly talking about stuff. And for some reason, I randomly brought up with him about my grandparents and losing them and having them die and how tough it was when I lost my grandfather. Just randomly, I started talking about grandparents and death out of nowhere. I don't even remember what stirred the topic. And I told him how like I could randomly predict the future, and I like, it just comes suddenly. And I never really had an experience with death before, but I just randomly was talking about grandparents and death. So what happened next was my friend, and I'm going to be keeping all names anonymous, by the way, guys. Nobody is going to be specifically named. No people, no pets, because it's also pets too that I predicted death with, which is also very sad. Before I continue, guys, by the way, I'll just show off my shirt real quickly. It's a Challenger shirt. It's a cool shirt, ain't it? Challengers, yay! Anyways, back to what we're talking about. I randomly brought this stuff up with him. And then he says to me, "Oh, I still have one grandmother left. She's fine. She's healthy." I'm like, "Well, that's good. You never know when you're going to lose them." Well, my friend then goes on his break, goes home. After his 15-minute break was over, I kid you not, he comes back to the store and he looks at me and he's in tears and he's crying. And he said, "Priscilla, you know how we were just talking about grandparents and people dying and, our grandparents dying?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "I just got home from my break and I phone." Hold on, let me wait for the phone to stop ringing. Phone, phone, phone. Oh my goodness, phone, stop. We're good? Okay. Anyways, he looks at me all teary-eyed and he goes, "Priscilla, I just went home for my break and I just found out that my grandma died. I'm like, whoa, okay. That's a little odd. All right. I don't, whoa. That was like all I could really think of was just whoa. That's kind of freaky deaky, but okay. Moving forward, a few years later, I get home randomly from work, and immediately something in the back of my mind tells me somebody's going to die today that you know. Somebody you know is going to die. Maybe like an hour later, I get a text from my mom telling me my great aunt dies. And, here's the funeral and wake arrangements. I'm like, okay, alrighty, well, here we go. Okay, thank you very much. Now, these are clairsentient things that happen. Some people call it coincidence, but I just find a very eerie connection with me and death and predictions and my clairsentience intuitivity. I can't talk right now. Anyways, there was that. Let me think here. There were some other stories. I have a friend with a yellow lab. I love labs. Obviously, I have a chocolate lab. So, I always think of all my labs. So this friend lives within close proximity of me. And I knew she was getting a surgery soon. So I was kind of all like hyped up about the surgery. So anyways, I'm going for a walk. It's a nice day. And I'm walking by the house. All of a sudden, I kid you not, I stop. I look right at the house where my friend and the yellow lab lives. And I think, something bad's going to happen to this dog. I'm thinking the surgery. I'm like, something bad's happening. I hope she's okay. Something bad's happening. I hope she's okay. That's all I could think. And I'm just thinking the dog. Something's wrong with the dog. Something's wrong with the dog. And that's all I could think about. I get home from work that day. Thank you for whoever gave me one like. I get home from work that day. And my mom's all sad, and she tells me that our friend's dog died. That the owner, which was our friend, was just walking the dog down the street, and boom, she had a heart attack and dropped dead right there. And I was just like horrified. It seems like I really know when pets are about to go too, which is just traumatizing. I'm like, oh my God, all I did was look at their house and I knew something bad was going to happen to their dog. About a year ago, I was taking a walk. Another very weird, clairsentient thing. For some reason, guys, I heard a plane. I look up at the plane and I'm staring at this plane. And all of a sudden, immediately, I'm told there's going to be a plane crash and people are going to die. And I was like, okay, whoa, that's really dark. I don't want to think about that. I'm going to pretend like I didn't just have that thought by looking at an airplane. Well, guess what happened after I finished work that day, guys? After I took my walk and I went to work, no problem. I get home from work and the news is on because we leave the news on for my dog. But there's breaking news that there was a plane crash in New Jersey that day and people died. And I'm like, mind blown. Whoa, scary, freaky deaky stuff. I'm kind of like saving up the finale, which I have text proof, but there's names in it, and I really would like to keep the names confidential. So, of course, if you guys would like to see the actual text messages, I'd have to show you in a separate video and just block out people's names. But before I mention that one, I'm trying to think of any other death occurrences. I know a lot of people with dog. I don't know how much this one I would really count as like my clairsentience coming up, but I knew that one of my friend's dogs, another friend's dog, he was old and he had cancer, and I knew he wasn't doing too well. So, it was just in the back of my mind that of course he was going to die soon. It was just a matter of when. And I decided just to randomly text the owner, who was my friend. I said, hey, how's your dog doing today? And she texted me back saying, we're actually going to be putting him to sleep today. And I was like, okay. I mean, I don't know how much I would really count that as one of these predicting death experiences. But, it was just another where like something told me you have to contact them. Another story. I'm saving the last and most recent one for last, another one. This one really hits home for me. And I really regret not listening to my intuitive self. And probably it was my spirit guides trying to tell me this. And I just kept forgetting and I kept blocking it out. But a couple years ago, I had an online friend from Australia. And I remember through Skype, she told me that she was diagnosed with skin cancer and she was going to start chemo. She was only like 26. She was young, but this was a few years ago. So I was in my early 20s at the time, but I mean, 26, I'm turning 26 in July. That's young. And she had so much going for her in her future. She went to culinary school, if I remember correctly. She was a chef. She had so much going on. This one really hits home with me because I really have a lot of regrets with this one. But anyway, my friend told me she had skin cancer, but she said she was going to be all right. She was going to go through chemo. It was going to be all right. As it progressed, we talked less. She was trying to fight cancer, after we stopped talking for a little while, I kept getting remindings in my head telling me, yeah, I've got more, SRT Mike. I've got more. I kept in the back of my mind, I kept being told, talk to your friend, contact your friend, talk to your friend, talk to your friend, talk to your friend. And I kept forgetting. A month or so later, of just constantly being reminded I should contact her, and I just kept forgetting to do it, and I really should have listened. I found out that my friend died from cancer. Another online friend had messaged me and let me know she succumbed to her illness, and I have so much regret because my spirit guides were right there telling me, contact your friend because it's going to be the last time you're ever going to be able to speak to her. And I blocked it out and didn't listen, and I lost the opportunity to talk to my friend one more time before she died. And that's a big regret that I have, that I didn't listen to my spirit guides. Very big regret. That one really hits home with me, guys. Man. Another one that happened about 3 weeks ago, we had a neighbor down the road, and my mom saw a bunch of police officers and everything coming into the house. And when our neighbor died, it was the same thing. There's that van that comes and takes the bodies away and everything. A police officers, like a police investigation. That usually means they found a dead body in the house. The second my mom said that, I looked at her and I went, it's one of the sons and he died of an overdose. And she said, how do you know? And I said, I just know. This is what happened. I know we've never been told that he has a drug problem, but I just know it's one of the sons and he died of an overdose. And I told that, and I looked her straight in the face and I told her that. And the next day, that was it. It was one of the sons and he died of an overdose. And my spirit guide told me, I said, as proof to my mother, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it and prove that I have something going on here because I know it. And I told her, the best thing you do is just say it. So I did. I just said it and I was right. Now, what really hit home with this one, another friend with a chocolate lab, I really don't want to say names. I really wish I could show the conversation because I have a text conversation as proof that this shit happens. Excuse my French, but this happens. I have a text conversation. If you guys really want to see the text conversation, I can make a new video and show it because there's names mentioned in this and I don't feel comfortable showing it. But I had another friend who had a chocolate lab, and 1 week ago, right? I was driving by near their house, and for some reason in the back of my mind, a little voice told me, contact them, see how they're doing, see how their old lab is doing, because he was old. And they told me to contact him. I kept forgetting this week to contact them. Last night, I finally said, I was like, okay, I'm going to contact them. So I'm going to block out the names and I'll just read the exact conversation. So I finally texted him because I finally remembered. So I wrote this. Hey, so-and-so, hope I'm not texting too late. I wrote this specifically. A little voice in the back of my head told me to check up on all of you. How is everybody and the dog? I write the dog's name in this, but I didn't say it. My friend wrote back, "Hi, sad news, I'm afraid. The vet had to put dog down to sleep 2 weeks ago. So something told me in the back of my head to contact them 1 week after the dog died. And I had no idea that anything bad was happening to this elderly dog, but something told me to contact them. So even more so, it was like a week off. I was a week off after the dog died. It happened to be 2 weeks because I kept forgetting this week to contact them, but I was a week off. And a little voice, my spirit guide, told me contact them. Something happened. Basically, he had a diffuse lymphoma, and it was inoperable. And he was in so much pain. This poor sweetheart of a dog, and they had to put him to sleep. But it gets even darker. My friends with this dog had asked me, I think in November, to it just really hits home because it's a chocolate lab and I have a chocolate lab. But they asked me in November to walk him. And I remember the last time I walked him that night, because once in a while I'll take care of a friend's pet. That's no problem, It's not my main thing I do, but if I have the free time, sure, I'll take care of a pet. But anyway, I walked the dog. And I remember petting him and loving him and kissing him. And I didn't want to leave the house because something told me, I didn't want to leave the dog because something told me it was going to be the last time I was ever going to see this dog again. And I was right. It was the last time I ever got to see him again. I remember I didn't want to leave so badly. I just wanted to keep petting the dog. I didn't want to leave because I knew it. I knew it. I knew that it was going to be the last time I was ever going to see that dog again alive. And I was right. Again, I was right. It just breaks my heart. But, my little spirit guides told me that the family was suffering from this and that I should contact them. And, even more so when I texted the owner last night, to check up to see how they were doing, immediately something told me the dog's gone. I knew it. Something told me he's gone. Said dog has passed away. I didn't even need the owner to text me back for me to know that. I knew it. Something was telling me he was gone. And then the text back from the owner confirmed that for me. And I remember that so vividly. I didn't want to leave that house. I didn't want to leave that night. I wanted to just keep petting and loving the dog because I knew it was the last time I was ever going to see him again. He was a good boy. But that one really hit home because it was a chocolate lab and I knew that dog for years. I used to love running into them. And when he would ask me every once in a while to walk the dog, I would jump on it. I love seeing Labradors, especially chocolate labs. But I knew it. But that's a good handful of stories that I've had where my clairsentience has told me about death. Hey, Kiki, I was just going through a couple experiences I've had with death, and I kind of saved the final one for last, and I just talked about it, and just that one really hits home because it was about a dog I really liked, and I knew the dog was gonna die. And when I texted the owner, they basically confirmed that. You'll see it in the video if you want to see the certain story that really got me. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But if you want to see the story when I finish this up, it's the last few minutes where I talk about that. Yeah. Just look for where I start talking about the last story where I'm talking about a dog and you see me on my phone reading a text conversation. But that one just really hit home for me when that one happened. There's a few that hit home, but something as innocent as a dog, nobody, wants to lose their dog. And it just makes you think about my dog, and something tells me I'm gonna know when it happens to my dog. Another story, this wasn't a death story, but I really don't want to get into details with this one because I know a few people with this story do watch the channel, and I really, even though they're gonna know that I'm talking about them, but just to keep it really brief, I have guessed in certain random conversations, not random, but I did guess of when a certain friend's parent was going to have something disease-wise happen to them. That's all I'm going to say, that I knew it was going to happen. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I really don't want to get into details with that one because I want to really respect who that is. But I told them something was going to happen to their dad, and it happened. But that wasn't a death story, you know. That was completely, you know, the person made it. Thank God. I'm not trying to prepare for myself with my dog. Yeah. I try not to think of it too. I had a scare with my dog the other day. I went through a very traumatizing experience with a dog who suffered from bloat, and that's when the stomach twists, and very traumatizing. My dog the other day had a little bout of nausea and threw up, and it just scared me. So I took him to the emergency vet because I was so scared he like had the stomach twisting thing happen. And thank God it wasn't bloat. But I'm very traumatized from an event that happened with another friend's dog. Because I happened to be there with them when the dog's stomach twisted, and it was terrible. Very, very bad. Yeah. As you could tell, I love dogs, and I have a lot of friends with dogs, so I do have a lot of dog stories. Yeah. But those are my death stories that I really have to talk about. But I just felt like I need to make a video since I really can't do tarot right now because I'm getting over the cold. Believe it or not, I sounded way worse this morning, but the medication that I picked up from the CVS that the Minute Clinic guy kind of like guided me to get really helped me out. Really helped me. This new medication stuff I'm taking definitely is helping my cough. My first dog got hit by a car. Second dog is old. Had him since the 7th grade. Wow. So I know the time is coming. You know, it's even worse, like Kiki, when like people like you and me were intuitive, and you even know more so when the time is coming than like the average person. Like you just kind of feel it brewing up in the back of your mind. You know it's coming. That's the one thing with being intuitive or being clairsentient. It's even worse when you're clairsentient like me, because sometimes dark thoughts come up in the back of your mind and you're scared whether that's really going to happen or not. He's your child. I 100% can agree with that. You know, my dog's my baby, my child too. That's my Mumu. He's sleeping somewhere in the basement. He's somewhere down here. I don't know where he is. Always laying on the floor. He just sunbathed outside, so now he wants to lay on the cool basement floor. This old pink tile over here. It's very tough losing a pet. Who was that amazing guy? What the heck was his name? I'm going blank. That had made a book about, like, you know, when you lose your pet. I'm going so blank. They're making a movie about him. The guy who hosted the kids shows for years. Hello Neighbor. They're making that movie. Hello Neighbor about what's his name? What's his name? Oh my gosh, how can I be going blank on his name right now? You guys know who I'm talking about. He was on TV for years doing that TV show, the kids show. What was his name? But he wrote a book in like the 80s about, like, you know, for children on what to do when you lose a pet, which I think was wonderful. Now it's gonna drive me nuts. What the heck is his name? I'm looking it up. Movie. Okay, I don't want that. Book. What the heck was the name of this dude? You know, he had the little puppet village and everything, and he went into his home and he'd get all cozy. He died in like 2005. Big kids TV host guy. Oh my goodness, how could I be going blank on him right now? Now I gotta go on my Facebook feed because I had posted something about his movie coming out soon. What was his name? I can't believe I'm going blank on this name right now. Mr. Rogers. There we go. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I was going blank on Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, I remember, wrote a book for children on how to get through when you lose a pet. The specific name for that was Mr. Rogers. When a Pet Dies by Fred Rogers. I've heard very good things about that book. Man, Mr. Rogers was amazing. I really want to see that movie that's coming out about him. I wish Mr. Rogers was still around. I feel like that children today really need a Mr. Rogers. Like, really, they do. Mr. Rogers and his neighborhood. That guy, you know what? He was cool because if you even know Kiki, I'm sure you do as well. He was the one who brought up real life subjects and made it not kid friendly where it was sugar coated, but he made it in a way where you can explain a real subject to a kid, like a real serious subject, and they would understand. Like, Mr. Rogers was amazing. What the heck is that movie that they're coming out with? The Mr. Rogers. Fred Rogers died in 2003. You Are My Friend or something. Is Tom Hanks gonna play Mr. Rogers? Huh. I love Tom Hanks. Oh man, I don't even want to think about when Tom Hanks goes. He's like one of my favorite actors. One of my favorite Tom Hanks movies. I mean, I love almost every Tom Hanks movie, but who doesn't like Forrest Gump? A lot of people don't like Castaway. I'm really shocked, but I can understand why people might think it's boring because it's just a guy on an island for a majority of it. But I don't know. I like Castaway, but I like a lot of Tom Hanks movies. Sully was a really good movie as well. Hilarious, man. Yes, hilarious. Very hilarious. I'll probably keep this live stream going for another 2.5 minutes here. I'll probably let it go to an even 30 minutes so it's nice and even because I like my even numbers. But it's nice to see that SRT Mike popped in and that my lovely friend Kiki popped in. It's always so lovely seeing familiar faces. But, you know, certain videos like this, I just decide, you know, make it a live stream. Why not interact with some people? Nothing wrong with that. But hopefully, you know, I don't know. Just gotta kind of be strong and keep moving on from it. You know, when another one comes, it comes. Unfortunately, I really have no control over this. Would I rather not be able to know when death things are going to happen, death topics about certain people and pets? Of course. Of course not. It's good to let the emotions out. I agree. 100% agree. I like the little emoji. It is good though. Never hold in your emotions, especially as an intuitive. You know, stuff can be traumatizing and scary when your dog Hey, you know what? It's okay to cry though when your dog passes away. You know, dogs, people like you and me, they're more than just humans. I mean, they're more than just dogs. They're more than just an animal. They're family. And I know people like Caesar Milan wouldn't support that. The dog's a dog, but family. You know, it's not easy losing a dog. It's not. But anyways, Kiki, it's so lovely for you hanging out. I totally appreciate it. We're at 488 subscribers, which is awesome. Once we hit 500 subscribers, be doing my giveaway for the little, oh my goodness, dream catcher and some tea light candles. Sorry, the cold, guys. That's the cold acting up, which is why I can't really do tarot card readings until it's gone, because, oh my goodness, trying to do that plus a cough, not fun. The only reason why it's being pretty suppressed right now is because of the medication. I can't believe it. Thank you, Kiki. Woohoo! But yeah, we'll be doing that giveaway when we hit 500 subscribers, halfway to 1,000. Oh my goodness, that'll be awesome. Hopefully, I'll have time to just edit some videos and upload them just to keep people at bay until I feel well enough to do some more tarot again. Super excited. I got a new crystal for myself. This is a green opal, which is super pretty. Such a nice crystal. But anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. Fun little live stream. I mean, it's fun at least interacting with you. I appreciate Kiki stopping in. Talking with her definitely cheered me up a little bit and got me out of the small funk I was just in when I was talking about the story with the last dog, you know. See you next time. Yes, see you next time as well. Yeah, I appreciate Kiki. You always brighten me up. So good energies and good vibes will bounce even through a computer. I very much believe strength through the computer and technology, and using the energies from even a device as a computer will help. Exactly. Happy faces. Yes. Bye, Kiki. And Mike, if you're still here, bye.